The basic unit of the nervous system is the neuron. The parts of the neuron include dendrites, which receive signals, the cell body, which contains the nucleus and organelles, and an axon, which transmits an impulse to another cell. Like other cell membranes, the cell membrane of the axon separates the inside and outside of the cell. Embedded in the membrane are sodium-potassium protein pumps. The pumps use energy to move sodium ions out of the cell and potassium ions into the cell. However, the membrane is much leakier to potassium than sodium. As a result, some potassium ions diffuse back across the membrane and outside the cell. Because those potassium ions are positively charged, the inside of the cell carries a negative charge relative to the outside, providing the membrane with a resting potential of about -70 millivolts. When a neuron receives a strong enough stimulus, gated sodium channels open to let sodium ions rush into the cell. Sodium ions have a positive charge, so the electric potential is temporarily reversed and becomes positive. This sudden change is called an action potential. When the sodium gates open in one part of the axon, positively charged sodium ions rush forward, causing more sodium gates to open so that the action potential moves rapidly from one end of the axon to the other. As the action potential passes, the gated potassium channels open. Potassium ions leave the cell, which restores its negative resting potential. In this manner, the action potential travels down the length of the axon like ripples down the surface of a stream. Once an action potential passes, the sodium-potassium protein pumps work to restore the resting potential of the cell. An action potential quickly reaches the axon terminals at the end of the neuron. These terminals release chemical neurotransmitters that travel across a short space called the synapse and then are picked up by the next cell, where they may start a new action potential. Synapses allow neurons to pass messages from one cell to another and to target organs.